Hello and welcome to another out of spec overlanding video. We have the new bZ4X. This is the electric Toyota small SUV thing. It's also the same car underneath as the Subaru Solterra, and they use the same XMODE all-wheel drive system logic to control the two motors. Anyway, we're in a beautiful area above Los Angeles. Look at this. And behind me is this gorgeous trail. We have about 2 hours or so until sunset, and we have a pretty low charge bZ4X. Let's go as far deep as we can, because I haven't even looked to see what charging stations are around here yet. So let's just go on an adventure. If we run out, we run out. So this is the bZ4X all-wheel drive. The Solterra will be all-wheel drive standard. This you can option in front-wheel drive. This one's not the front-wheel drive, it's the all-wheel drive, like I said. 72-ish kilowatt hour battery pack, two 80 kilowatt electric motors, proprietary X drive or XMODE all-wheel drive system with a dirt and snow mode, and then like a deep mud and deep snow mode that turns off traction control. Unsure if there's any locking diffs mechanically. I don't think there is. Pretty sure it uses brakes to force torque left and right. Anyway, pretty good ground clearance. I'm not sure of the specs. We have them in the car, so I'll let you know. But what do you guys think about the styling? I think it looks better in person. Come around back. I mean, first of all, we have a full review of this car on our sister channel, Out of Spec Reviews. But take a look at this. Seemingly pretty good approach angle. That's some good distance. Departure looks pretty tidy back here, so I'm not too worried. It's a relatively short wheelbase too, so I'm thinking it might be good for this light trail that we've selected here. More like a narrow dirt road. Sorry for a lot of the background noise. It's like we're in a jungle with cars going by. Take a look at the storage space in this thing. Pretty big. You can fold the seats down, of course, just like that, and they fold down flat. Underfloor storage. Oops. Underfloor storage, as you can see, with a charger included. Again, if you're curious about seeing more on the bZ4X, the bZ4X, we have tons of videos on Out of Spec Reviews coming or already up. We're going up there to see the beautiful sunset up in the hills. Literally sounds like a jungle over here, doesn't it?
It's just frogs.
Just frogs. Take a look over this way. Just beautiful sunset, nice hills. Who knew we'd only be 30 minutes from Pasadena? Why are you looking at me like that?
It was an hour.
It's an hour?
Yes. It's not
Who knew
30
we'd be an
minutes.
hour away from Pasadena?
Yeah.
Let's leave the little hydrogen car down here, shall we? Mm-hmm. And let's take the electric one up, because I haven't even looked to see what hydrogen stations are around here, but I bet there's more EV plugs than hydrogen ones. So let's talk about what stuff we have for off-roadingness or sort of light trails. Again, this is really built for a lot of the stuff people want to do. They want to take these cars to a good hike, and so you would find yourself on a dirt road. So it's really overlanding more than it is off-roading. Perfect for this channel. We have eco mode, don't need that. We have this X mode that I was saying, that you can go snow and dirt right here, and then I can click it again and go deep snow and mud, and you can see traction control is off. I also have a plus minus selection here, which is called grip, G-R-I-P, unavailable. Why? Maybe it only happens in normal X mode. Does cruise control need to be on for it? Let's see. Cruise control unavailable. Oh yeah, here we go. Grip control, low, medium, and high. So it basically has progress control with braking, and you can go up to, no one's around, right? Whoa, 6 miles an hour in this. So you can go anywhere from, it feels like about 2 miles an hour to 6 miles an hour. You see this low, medium, and high adjustment right here, and I can adjust. Why is the cruise control popping up? I can adjust that. I also have a pretty cool nifty display right here that shows me which axle is producing how much of the power. You can see the front axle does always a little bit more than the rear. Rear cross traffic alert going for nothing. And so this will be kind of neat to see how X mode handles, how it does the torque distribution front and rear, and also side to side. So what do you say we go up, look at how beautiful this road is, and see what kind of good views we can find in the Toyota bZ4X. So I'd say that grip control is pretty interesting. I think I'll tend to drive manually from now on. Oh, we got double angle going on here, Inception. I think I'll tend to drive manually, but nice to have that X mode sort of crawling function, lock it in at low speed. The motor seemed really nicely tuned for low speed. No torque ripple that I can tell, even under big load. And it definitely, like when I would come over a big object, it would slow down and sort of try and prevent the thing from crashing down and bottoming out. It seemed to be a pretty smart system. I actually met some of the Toyota guys that did the work for the, I think it might be the same general idea in the Tundra. It has this sort of progress control, and I thought that was pretty interesting. So anyway, let's continue on. I'm liking so far, no issues with ground clearance, no issues with anything, just a nice general trail that I think this is pretty attainable for most people to do in a small crossover. See a way to turn off the parking sensors. Wow, that would be a pretty good camping spot, don't you think, Alyssa?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, the suspension seems to be taking this pretty well. I definitely think, like, you know, if you were going to go on a long distance trail, I'd definitely air down just to help with ride quality. But, like, I mean, pretty nice, just general dirt road leading up to some beautiful views. Look, you can see the Mirai all the way down there. Take a look at this. All the way down there is the Mirai. We're climbing. And I don't see any sign of drivetrain fans kicking on. You can see the motor torque split right here, which has kind of been fun to watch. Definitely prioritizing rear axle a bit when we're on a pretty steep angle. And yeah, just have it in the dirt mode, in X mode, or X mode dirt. Gotta try not to scratch these 20-inch wheels. Don't want to damage Toyota's car, but great throttle control in this mode. It's really good. I actually wonder if, oh, you can't put eco when you're in X mode. I thought that might elongate the throttle a little bit more. It's the right size. It's small. And this is kind of feels like what it's built for. So let's cover some distance, see some views, and then we'll let you know if we hit anything kind of spicy. But definitely driving around in silence out here with the windows down. Perfect 77-degree day. No wind, just really doesn't get much better than this. This is what it's all about. We found a little bit of an obstacle here in front of us. You can't really see it. We're a little bit too close to it, but it's really gonna basically help us figure out how this thing's gonna send power where it needs to go. So you can see the power gauge there is getting us up. A little bit of traction control, nothing major. It's spinning. I'm giving it full power right now. It's locking the axles. Wow, it did a really good job of torque vectoring left and right. You see the traction control flash? And basically send power where it needs to go. And you just have to give it a bootload of throttle. And yeah, just figures itself out. That is great. So much better in my experience than ID4 or really any other small electric crossover at locking the wheel that was spinning and sending power where it needs to go. Nice work, Toyota. So a little bit of trail etiquette. We see someone up in the distance coming down. I found this little pull off we're just kind of backing ourselves into. Pretty steep, but we can do it. Everything's dinging, of course. We're just going to give him room to get by. So we'll just hang out here till they come, and then we'll continue on the path. And there they go, and here we go. So check this out, guys. When I put the thing in reverse, we get this pretty nice 360-degree view camera, and you have like different line markings, guides you can have, different views. Of course, you can see there's front cameras and everything. But when I put it in drive, it instantly goes away, and we can't find a setting anywhere that lets us display the camera mode. It just doesn't, there's no app, there's no nothing in the vehicle settings, phone, music, nav, and then CarPlay. I see no camera buttons anywhere around here, and no camera buttons over here like where they typically would be on other Toyotas. So maybe, again, something we're missing, but would be nice to have cameras and to turn the parking sensors off for this stuff. So there's a giant hole that we don't want to go down on that massive cliff over there. So we're just going to stay on the high side and rock it around through as we spin some wheels and tires. We're avoiding it, right, Alyssa?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why don't you show what that cliff looks like? Definitely don't want to go in that. Off we go up the hill. Beautiful views, almost to the top, actually.
Oh my gosh.
I was trying to take the big boy line. Didn't like that. All right, lifting a wheel, nothing crazy. Let's do some more. And we have made it to the top of the hill. Have to say, very much soft roading here, right? Couple little obstacles. We got the front wheel pretty far off in the air. Didn't have the best camera angle for that, but pretty interesting. You know, the thing just doesn't have that much articulation, but this is really kind of the perfect situation for this car. You want to come up here, get some absolutely stunning views off in the distance. Well, you can do that with the bZ4X. So I think we'll head back down. We'll see how the regen works for the downhill section. But that's kind of the point of this car. It's an everyday driver, commuter, but it's seemingly very good at its torque distribution. Now, it's not the quickest at sending power left and right, but if you just stay in it, it will eventually get you going, which I can't say about other vehicles. So I think this is actually going to do pretty well in our out-of-spec hill climb challenge compared to other EVs that we've tested. We have plenty of more cars coming on this channel in that test, but I'm just having a blast up here in this still weather, perfect day, top of this mountain here in beautiful sunny California. So we are on a pretty big undulation here, definitely enough to start lifting wheels. I think that front right wheel is actually in the air right now. Yep. And so essentially what we're going to do is I've turned X mode off. I want to see if the car can figure it out in normal, just driving mode. If it can't, then we're going to turn on X mode and then see if that makes a difference. And if that doesn't do anything, then I think we'll try the little progress control and see what it does. So why don't you just go right off here to the side of the car so you can see as many wheels, or maybe just up over this corner over here, and then we can see what wheels are in the air at the same time. Woo! Teeter-totter, teeter-totter. So definitely I can hear ABS pumps going. It's definitely getting a little confused, but it's doing it. I'm gonna put it in X mode, just snow and dirt, the first level. Let's see if it makes any different noises or if things feel different. Definitely seems to lock up a little bit quicker. Yeah, and better throttle control too. I can just inch this thing. I can basically inch this thing in this mode, which is nice. Let's see what the progress control, the little speed adjustment thing does here. I'm going to set it to the slowest. It's doing it, but seems to really want to give it a lot of power. And so definitely an awkward feeling when it's applying throttle. Thankfully, I can still use the brake, but as soon as I let off, it gives it juice. Yep. Oh, well, it's giving it juice backwards that time, even though we're in drive. It's a little confused in that standard drive itself mode. Anyway, I'm going to take it out of that grip control. Just normal X mode. Should be able just to walk right up this way. Without issue. Really sweet. All right, we are heading down the hill now. We just came up a little bit past where we just shot. We were at the top. We just wanted to see what was up here. And what's up here is absolutely stunning, insane views. We're driving around all these dirt roads going over the tops of these mountains. It's paradise. I don't know any other way to explain it. This is absolutely wonderful. Ah, very interesting. On the way down, you see this little green situation here? I think that's our downhill speed situation. And I don't know if there's any way to adjust it. It says cruise control is unavailable, so it doesn't use the cruise control stuff. It uses grip goes up, so I can turn grip off by hitting this. And then if I hit the brakes, yeah, now it comes on with speed control. So basically it's grabbing brakes. I can feel it grabbing friction brakes to not let us get above a certain speed. I wonder if it holds at the speed that I let off. So here we're letting off at 13 miles an hour, and then it holds us there. It doesn't let us gain speed. Or if I let off at, let's just say 7 miles an hour, there it is. It's holding us at 7. That's pretty trick. I like that. That's kind of cool. And if you want to coast, I don't really know how you do that other than just like hit neutral for a half a second, hold neutral. Now we're in neutral. Wait, but it's still active even in neutral. So how do you just coast? The plus and minus turn on. This switch right here turns on the grip control, the speed progress. If I click X mode again, then we get deep snow and mud. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's really any way around this downhill thing. It might just be programmed in, or maybe it's a setting deep in the menu. But I am, yeah, not super against it. And look at just this beauty that we are heading into straight ahead. This is just a dream world. You guys know we love Colorado, and nothing gets better than Colorado, but this, it gets pretty close. This is absolutely gorgeous. And the fact that it's a Sunday afternoon and no one's even here. It's just so cool. And like, I guess if we wanted to, we could just go up this little flowery path this way. Should we do that, Alyssa?
Yeah.
Okay. So boom, off the trail. Actually, I think it's just like an optional extra to the trail on this mountaintop. Look left, look right. It's stunning. And we're doing it all in silence. This has to be one of the quietest off-roaders, or quietest, not off-roader, quietest cars I've ever taken out on a trail. It's just amazing not hearing anything whatsoever. And you see this rock sitting in front of us? You see that? There, I'll back up for a second just so you can see it. See that rock right there? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we're not even gonna touch it. You know how I know that?
No. Can't hear it.
You don't hear it scraping, but that was just pure luck. Seems to have a lot of ground clearance, actually. That's what I'm trying to say, is like stuff in the road, no problem. And here we are, hammering down. Love it. I'm not sure I'm liking this downhill speed reduction system, or sort of like hill descent control that's like selectable by the last speed you let off the brake pedal, like this, where I kind of want to coast a little faster, so then I hit the accelerator pedal, then we start flying, then I got to hit the brakes again, but then it locks us back in at that speed. It's a little bit cumbersome, and I kind of wish I could turn that off. I guess in theory we could take X mode off, and then I just have full manual control. I can even hit regen boost, and seemingly we're getting more regen this way than we were in X mode. X mode does not allow regen boost to kick on. And one of the things that's so important about overlanding, off-roading, and adventuring with electric vehicles is trying to recapture as much energy as possible and not burning it to friction brakes, because range is always a concern. Typically on trails it's relatively efficient. Let's just go this way, high side and around. The parking sensors are going, of course. Traction control just flashes when we lift a wheel. You always want to get as much regen as possible, and it seems like X mode prioritizes friction brakes over regen with the car's system. And that could just be because they don't have enough fine control of the motor to do regen through ABS, but I think it's kind of a missed opportunity. But I think Subaru actually did all the development work for this X mode system. And again, I am fairly impressed with it, at least in undulating surfaces. So here's where we said we were at the top, and now we're going down the super gnarly section, where this is the hardest obstacle right about here. So I'm gonna have Alyssa get out and spot us, because we do not have much travel and we are literally a half an inch off a cliff. And we got to go down in this pretty extreme gully here. And we're cruising back down the hill. Sun is just setting over the ridge over here. That was a really nice little couple hour, maybe 1 hour exploration, something like that. Hour and a half. I'm really, digging this. I think we found the perfect trail that matches wonderfully. I'm always a proponent of not everything needs to be the most hardcore rock crawly situation. As much as we love that stuff, don't get me wrong, most people aren't going to find themselves out in there. But I do think a lot of people who are quite adventurous, like these folks right here in the Subaru, will find themselves out here. This looks like a 10-year-old driving this thing. Here, film that. I don't know what they're doing. You can see here, I guess they're just trying to turn around. Got a little bit too rough for the Forester, but the bZ4X did it just fine. Very nice. So I gotta say, very nice time here riding in the Subaru bZ4X. As I was saying, I think this thing's more than capable for like the trails people are gonna go. Like they're freaking out in the all-wheel drive Forester turning around, and this just conquered it without issue. But it's not that aggressive of a trail. It's just a little bit rocky, a little bouncy, and a couple little undulations where it needs to send power left and right, and it did a really good job of both of those. So anyway, thanks so much for watching another out of spec overlanding video. I've been very impressed with this little car. I don't actually know the ground clearance. I told you I'd get it for you. It wasn't in the materials they gave us, and we have no service, so Google it. But wonderful car, built really well, no squeaks and rattles. I'm thinking this or the Solterra will be really good actually out on the trails in Colorado. And thanks to that Jeep for letting us come down the hill. Super sweet. This thing's definitely looking good, covered in dirt, the way it should be. It actually looks super good clean, and it looks super good dirty. In the photos, I hate to say it, this car does not photograph well. It looks terrible. In person, it's like, whoa, this thing actually looks kind of cool. And the Mirai is one of the best looking sedans on the market, I would say. Toyota up in the game. No damage to anything. Didn't even scrape the underside once. Just looks freaking awesome. Love it. Thanks for watching another overlanding video. We'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.